Welcome back, everyone, to Pinetopia. I am back here at the range where I've made a couple of changes in design. From the front here, you don't see anything really different. You just shoot here. Well, in that case, I missed. All right, there you go. The light turns on and everything continues on. How close was I on that first one? See, hitting in the red doesn't get it. You need to get it in the inner white or in the dot in order to complete it. I shortened this by 1 and moved the stairs to the back if they weren't there before. And then here is where I have the change in that the inner circuitry has been tweaked a little bit. Guess we could show you what's going on in here. So you see I have shortened the width here 1, but I have a comparator here now where I'm checking the comparator of the output of the target with that of the book in the lectern, and then that will guide on whether or not this turns on. So I don't have to worry about the decay as much because we only get to 2 before the comparison, and I am in compare mode so that it will give me a nice signal across that will reach there. And I think that this is working pretty well. And the reason why I did this is because I want to be able to readily adjust and tune the course without having to redesign my floor in there. And all I have to do now is to change what page I'm on. I'm currently on page 10, which I think is a good one for this target. So there will be other targets where there will be later pages on here. And on top here, I now have this. The one that's different is saying which direction to face. So I know the face is that way instead of some other direction in order to see the next target. And that'll help if I have multiple potential targets in the area. So now we continue on. Now, I have not yet made this change for the rest of them. This was the first one to get that little change. So we could do it for the second one. Right now, let's see, what do I need? Oh, I need another lectern. See, I was thinking at first I might need some repeaters, but I don't need any of them. But I do need 2 comparators for each of these. So I can make a second one when I have a chance, which is what we'll do after I show you how the course is laid out now. So we have this one as the third one. That's a pretty long shot, as you can see. So the shots are starting to get long. I think I did show this one at the end of the previous episode. Then the third one is the one down here. Actually, I think we even saw this one during the last episode. So that's straightforward. So let's head on down to where we're going to have the new ones. So I think I left off last time wondering what I'm going to do with the water, and I did place it just in the water. So I have a little building on stilts there is how I'm representing it in the birch. And this is a pretty long shot, so I might tune this one to make it a little bit more forgiving than the others because it's a pretty tough shot even with the light directly on the redstone as it is now. So I'm really going to set a low page number on this one. The next one is right into this wall, so this one shouldn't be too difficult, well, especially when I'm sitting right on top of it. I will obviously have to tune that probably to page 9 or 10. And the tricky one with this one afterwards, well, first of all, is what I'm going to do in building that because it's going to be built into the hillside. Then I have to get up here. I have to make a decent set of stairs here so that we can get up here more easily. And of course, show the place where I'm doing. And this is going to have a rather straightforward shot here because this is actually one of the shortest shots, which is what's really horrible that it took me 2 shots before I was able to hit it. And this one is a bit of an angle shot because it's turned around like that. But as you can see, it is hittable, although of course, right now that's on top of the block. So when I get that in there, now the last shot though, this is going to be the roughest one. So right now we've got the, first of all, you can see it's not sitting on top of the block yet. It's still using the old distances. So it's a really rough shot. And I think it's going to be the toughest shot on the course, perhaps because we've got the birch tree that's in the way to make things a little bit tougher. And the birch tree, I was at first thinking of removing it, but I think the hazard of having the birch tree is it's going to make it a more interesting one, especially since this is number 9, which is going to be the final one in the front 9. As you can see, the shot's rather tough. I'm going to have to see if there's a way I can get that in. I am definitely going to have to tune that one down. Actually, I can at least temporarily tune it down by, I look at that. That one is pretty close on there. That one really should be able to count because of how things are. So I'm definitely going to, since I'm going to do this one very late in it, I will at least temporarily move this little bit of dust back so that we could do that, so it'll be to the new line. And of course, that's where the lectern will eventually go when I have enough lecterns. Because right now, I'm short on lecterns because I don't have much in the way of, let's see, what is it? I've got the, what am I lacking on that? Probably leather, so I'm rebreeding. It's been a while since I've been breeding the cattle, so I'm breeding them again so that I'll be able to have, there you go. Yeah, it's a lot easier with the distance cut down by 3 in there. With me being able to hit in the red right there and still be able to make it. All right, so I will, as I said, tune each of those after I get all of that built. And that's going to take me a little time in order before I'm going to have enough lecterns to do all of that. Now I remembered what the real limiting factor is. It's not the lecterns, even though that is a limiting factor. The limiting factor is this. I have 1 chicken. And of course, I can't kill this. I had to go out into the field somewhere. I found the wild chicken and managed to get it for the 1 feather I had for the example there. But I'm going to be needing a few more. When I get a second chicken, then I could start breeding them the normal way. But until then, I have to wait till I get another egg so that I can try to get that second chicken. I have a few more chickens now. That gave me plenty of those. I have a nice collection of eggs, which means that I can now be able to finally make pumpkin pie, which is something that I haven't been able to do. That's always been a favorite food of mine to carry around. So next time I go through and change food, I will be using pumpkin pie since I can make that now. And I have been able to get the feathers I need, which means that now each of my targets has a lectern and the box in there. So let's take a little tour in here and see what I can do. But I want to see what I can do with an unenchanted bow. So I have one of these. I also brought an unenchanted crossbow with me, and I want to see how well I can now shoot the targets. I don't think enchantment makes all that much difference in this, but let's just see since I've been doing all my tests so far with enchantments and the like. Well, that's one of the easier ones. Actually, I think this is the second easiest hole now based on what I've got here. But now we have this. So far the score is 1. That's a little bit off. Yeah, they get a little tougher once you do that. All right, 3. Now that I have this calibrated, all right, that's 3. Total is 4. Now I have this one calibrated at 10 right now. Now, there's a possibility I could move that into an 11 perhaps. So now the score is 4 since I got 3 in there. And this one is calibrated at 8 since it's a little further away. It's a significantly tougher shot even though it is a lower number. Now down in this direction we have this one. About right about there. Of course, once you learn the course, it gets to be a little bit easier. 5. Since once you know the course, you got a better idea where to do your initial aims. Now, one advantage of doing this with an unenchanted bow is that effectively you can keep score by looking at the durability of the bow, since if you're doing it properly, you're only shooting the bow when you're taking a shot. So right here I have 379 and 384, which confirms that I have 5 shots. Now on this hole, I move the step marker one forward than usual because back here it's virtually impossible to see the target. So I move the standing point right over here. That was a little low. There you go. That's 7 now. That's not too bad. I know during my previous round before this, I had a good number of bad shots, so I wasn't sure how things were going to be going on this. Let's see, 8. So this one's at the average setting, and 8 is my default, but as I said, I could tune things up or down. That's the reason why I went through the trouble of getting all these books and the feathers and all, was just so that I could do that. All right, now we got 17. Oh, oops, see daisy, that's the wrong point right here. Now this one, let's see, that's a little low. I have to, all right. Yeah, this one's a little bit more difficult. I'm all over the place on that one. Yeah, there we go. Finally, and we are at, so I'm at 13 right now. So I'd say 13 is not too bad of a score, considering I think last time I was doing this, I was already in the 20s. So I am getting better, though. Yeah, I'm a bit all over the place on that one. How do I have that calibrated right now? 8. So yeah, it is a bit of a tough one if it's an 8 from this distance. Oops. The real tough one on this one is getting up these stairs. Now we have here, yeah, I do need to do something to make this birch one look a little bit better. I've made each of them out of different materials. Now this one is in the side of the hill made of cobble. Maybe I should use regular andesite or something that could match useful here. Or perhaps I should have used granite for this one and use something else for that one. I'll have to consider that because making it prettier is, of course, the next stage of the whole thing. That is a bit, that was actually high, not low. All right. There we go. Took me 3 shots on that one. I think this is another 8 because it sounds like it could be. Or did I bump that one up to 10 due to the distance? No, it is 8. All right. Now this one was, it's when I moved the thing right back here because when I actually built the thing, I had to move the target in a little bit, otherwise I would have trouble fitting here. Because unfortunately, there's no other place where I could think of putting it. Now, perhaps I should have put it on the other side of that hill. I may move this target over to that hill over there. Perhaps maybe right around there, take down that tree. And that may be better because this is a ridiculously close. Now, I do have this one set for 12. So we do have that. So it is very, very finicky. But as you can see that even with it being very, very finicky, I can get it there. I guess there's always the possibility of bumping that up to a 13 or 14 perhaps and see what happens there. And then here though can be a tougher shot. Yeah, because I think if I move something there, then that will have a great effect though on this one. Oh, actually that turned on. I didn't realize that that turned on there. Yeah, so that's the disadvantage by scoring by how I'm scoring here is because 365. So effectively, I've wasted one shot literally by doing that. If I'm keeping score by durability, so you do have to keep close attention here. Maybe I should add a bell to it or something like that on top of. That means getting bells, and that's going to be tough. Oh, note blocks. Yeah, that might be something I'll have to do. So I can actually hear the sound also, because the only reason why I noticed that I did get it is because I saw the light turn off. I didn't see it actually turn on. And here, I think this one's a really tough one. I think I had to bump this up to a Well, maybe it's not as tough as it was when I was first doing the practice. When I was first trying that out, because of the positioning and all that stuff, it was a virtually impossible shot. But now it looks like it's a lot easier based on position. Actually, it's only an 8. So I actually did that. So in the end, 20 shots. That is a lot better than I was expecting that to be. So I may have to make a couple of those tougher in order to do that, because 20 shots is... Well, if you compare that to a golf course where, what, about 36 for a 9-hole golf course or something like that would be par. So it's obviously, certainly a lot easier than a golf course would be in 9 holes. So I think I'll have to maybe adjust the positionings of one or two of them, but that gives a nice feasibility study of the whole thing. And I was wondering, how do I reliably keep score in this? And the idea of using an enchanted bow I think really works. You just need to pay attention. Maybe adding some note blocks would be the next step. I guess I could try that at the first couple of holes, especially the ones that are a little further away. See if I could fit the note block in. Now let's try a second run with the crossbow. I've never tried this with a crossbow. I have done all of my tests using a regular bow, so it's going to be interesting to see how this works. Well, that was all right, a little bit lower than I expected, but it did get me in there. Now I presume then, yes, that takes off one durability, so I could use that. Now let's see how it works on here. How about right there? Well, that was a bit high, so it's going to take me a little time to get used to exactly how things work with the crossbow. Oh, did that go too low, or did that go... Not too sure how I'm going on here. Well, I... Finally! Looks like I did better with the bow than with the crossbow, but I guess that's no big surprise, considering that I have used the crossbow so little. But I figured this will give an idea, depending on which weapon you use, how things operate on there. I think the bow's a lot faster on how things operate. Oops. Out there. All right. That was decent. For this one, I don't know how much elevation changes will affect it. That seems to be about, yeah, I am not sure on anything at all on this. All right. Is the variance larger than with the regular bow, I'm wondering? Because that's always a possibility, because if it is, then it makes the crossbow a poor choice for the game. But it's good to see how things are on that. Yeah, let's grab the arrows. There we go. We are at ooh, 14 so far. Yeah, I think I'm a bit behind because I think I had a total score of 20 last time, which was a bit of a surprise for me. But I guess this is my first time with the crossbows, so actually that one wasn't too bad of a shot. So let's see. It seems like little adjustments make a big difference, whether that's because of the variance. Ah, there we go. Or whether it's due to anything with the crossbow, I'm not sure. I probably should try the next one, maybe try aiming at the same place and for all the first 3 shots and see what we've got there. Head up here. Now this one, let's say, how about right here? Well, that doesn't give me too much room for experimentation, obviously, because I actually hit that one on the first shot. All right. So I got one good one in there. Of course, the next one is the easy one. I'm thinking maybe I won't move this, but instead just give that maybe a 13 or 14 as the number on the page and see if that makes the whole thing a little bit tighter. Yeah, because I think that if I set it that way, that one would not have made it. Because I think they only made it because of the level we're on. Actually, I need to actually hit up here. I am going to need better stairs for this one because they don't look... Okay, let's get onto this point right here and see what we have. Actually, I think I need to go there. I think I see the problem that I had last time in that the crosshair is right over the light. Because I did double take in there before I realized that, yes, the light was on there. So I don't know how it is that I keep getting that one in one shot, seeing how I don't think it's really all that easy a shot. Maybe I think I have set on an 8, right? No, well, I think that answers my question on the variance a little bit. Where did that one go? Actually, oh, that one actually activated. So that gives me a total score of 25. Actually, not much different from the other one. I had one really poor round in there, but otherwise not too bad. I don't think it's too bad considering it was my first attempt at it with the crossbow, but I think the first 2 shots were intended to be aimed around the same place, and a little bit of a difference there. But that's it for that little thing. I'll probably have to do some landscaping updates to make this whole thing look a little bit better, of course, but the core of the game is there. And I think it actually works out pretty well. Because I have tried some other games of this sort that just didn't work out all that well, but I think this one is actually a decent game in there and something I we're likely to return to every once in a while. It does help that it's located right here at the center of the base. Now, I am thinking of letting this simmer for a little while, see what I think of in the long term. Are there any lessons learned, anything like that? And once I have finished on the lessons learned, then it'll be time for me to do a back 9. And then the back 9, I could apply any lessons learned and head out in this direction. And this one looks like it's going to be a little bit more of a challenging course, both to build and probably to do if and when I get around to it. But that will not be for the next time. What will I do next time? We have to answer that in the next episode of Piney Plays Minecraft Pine Ridge.